We saw it before when we were fighting the Harpies, actually. The judges of the underworld. Interesting. But anyway, yeah, I do like when most games usually give you a recap in some way or form. It's pretty nice overall, and I'll leave that safe. I mean, like, Ratchet and Clank... Hold on. There's something glowing here, but we can't really do anything. Kind of a shame. But anyway, Ratchet and Clank, the Ratchet and Clank future games did that for a cracking time when you're actually installing the game, which was pretty nice how it's a little subtle. It gives you something to do while you're waiting for it to install. Like, some PS3 games did that, where they would give you something while the game took a long time to install. But most of the time it was just the same thing over there. Like, Devil May Cry 4 explained the first 3 games, and showed some art off. But after you reach 3, it just repeated itself for like 20 minutes. Dead Space 2 and 3 actually did that. I like how both games did that, because Dead Space 2 explained everything from the first game, whereas Dead Space 3 actually explained everything from both games, and Dead Space 2 also hinted at some things that would happen in Dead Space 2 itself. Dead Space 3 pretty much explained both games again. The new narrator. I can't remember the name of the Dead Space 2 narrator, but he was, I think, the same guy who voiced Terrence Kyne, actually, the unitologist who wants to stop the hive mind. I could be wrong on that. Probably gonna post in an annotation who the voice actor was. I'm a little surprised that other games in the trilogy never really did that, like Uncharted 3. You never know, I guess. I mean, Assassin's Creed games all did that in the introduction, but anyway, we have to read this book. I'll go on more about that sometime later, maybe. So we've got a set of challenges and some poor civilians who have no idea what shit they're gonna get into. Basically, we're gonna go through a... Why was that civilian having a mild seizure? Anyway, we have to destroy these arms of Hades. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Anyway, you have to destroy the arms. Usually using Circle. I think Circle actually is the better option because you get that clump, experience clump, plus you get the Bruno bonus. They don't do that much damage, but even then the civilians will give you back health. So it's worthwhile. I think the L1 circle thing works due to Hyperion, whatever it's called. I don't know if you can fall off the edge, but that's all there is to it this far. You can use the Apollo to a great effect. And I tried grabbing the arm. I feel bad for the civilians though, like, why are they even here? I actually really am kind of confused. And I tried to grab the arm, of course. We've got a few challenges and then we're pretty much going to be able to see the judges or whatever. That's the first one. Some of those quotes don't really seem relevant, honestly, to the challenge, in my opinion. And we've got the Minotaur! They've gotten... Hey. The Minotaur is fairly different this time around. Not that different, but... they're pretty vulnerable to a lot of things. I think they're a little easier, again, mostly because of things like the battering ram and how you can kind of jump with them. But in this challenge, you should watch out for these civilians who are going to go into the wall, because after you destroy one Minotaur, more Minotaurs will start coming if you kill this one. It's a good way to try and get some extra experience, though. That was funny. But you definitely should actually try to make sure most of the civilians or the things do not actually reach the fan. Only after you kill the first Minotaur, because things can get a little bad after that. Nice. Got a good combo going. Ooh, no, don't reach that, don't reach that! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, another Minotaur game. The counter, if you can get it if you're playing on a lower difficulty, is actually really good. Although there is a Minotaur on screen letting the civilians reach it in order to get a battering ram use from the enemies is pretty decent. Nice. Wish I had a little more health. Oh wait, I have full health. That's great. Trial 3. Okay, I guess destroy everything makes sense for strength. This is probably the hardest entry without a doubt. Alright, got them all turned to stone. That's great. Try to use magic, of course. Ooh, I'm trying to actually get her to use her gaze so that I can kill the harpies easily. But of course, ooh, good. Now let's destroy you. Great. Now we got a Minotaur, and I think another Gorgon's gonna come. Or not, but this is actually not much better. Let's see if I can throw that harpy. At the very least, all of the Minotaur's attacks are still blockable like last time. Okay, I'm not gonna grab that harpy, clearly. You don't, the juggling thing works a little different with the Minotaurs as well, like you can't throw them into one another. But juggling them in the air generally works, like when... I mean, when you're trying to do a regular triangle attack to try and throw them into another on the ground, you can't toss them to another. It kind of sucks. That was actually a pretty decent idea, in my opinion. It was a very great option. I'll just kill you with circle points. Oh. I honestly think that with the Gorgon, that the first part can be very bad with all the harps and stuff, especially since they have the ability to use a shockwave attack early on. Regardless, if you're playing on a lower difficulty, you should definitely be able to have level 2 Blades of Exile, and I think you'll get the L1 square attack back. Oh! Pretty simple stuff, not bad. Those civilians are really gonna get on my nerves, I can tell you guys that right now.
By the gods of Olympus and Order of Zeus, we are the 3 judges. Face your final judgment, mortal. King Aeacus has found you wanting. King Rhadamanthus has found you worthy. It falls to me, King Minos, to make the final decision. Your future is cloaked in shadow. The realm of the afterlife is not yet ready for you. Beyond that door waits your destiny.
Huh. Very interesting, I guess. Oh, well. You think that since there were under orders from Zeus, they would have attacked us, or not let us through, but maybe they didn't get the memo. Also, you see more of that blue stuff that was actually surrounding Gaia's heart that was impenetrable. Go, so you can actually step back on this thing again, and for some reason they stare down on Kratos, rather ominously. Regardless, we can continue through, so I guess we should just try and hurry back up to pretty much where we actually ran into Athena. Also, Big B actually pointed out in the comments that it's rather amusing that it has been a day and Athena already misses Kratos. Kind of a point there. We've also got this very nice ambient tune playing, in my opinion. It's the mood now that we're able to continue on our path. That is rather ominous about Kratos' fate, though, if I do say so. I mean, Kratos' fate isn't that sure. I mean, you would imagine they might make some sort of reference about the game, but it looks like it's just his general fate. We have, I believe, Bramble and more Minotaurs. Damn it! Why don't you use that? You can actually use that Bramble as a battering ram, kinda. Like when you push it into them, I think. Or kick them. Noticing the juggling is kind of weird for them. I wish I had my own square attack, man. That would be so good. I wish I can get into this loop, but I do miss my God of War 1 loop, where you can just throw them in the air constantly. That was very, very cool. I wonder how standard loop combos work. Oh, and also, if you're blocking, you can go into Icarus Ascension easily. It's worth noting that another thing we actually lost is L1X doesn't do anything with the Icarus wings. It has another feature later on. For now, it's kind of useless. Like another one of those invisible spark things. There was one on the path here as well. That is actually written by none other than Kratos' young daughter, Calliope, who he tragically killed along with her mother before the events of any of the games in the series, when he was still under Ares' service. Poor girl does not know. Even though they're Chains of Olympus, it doesn't seem like she really knows either. I mean, Calliope knows that Kratos was in general not a monster, kind of. I guess just everyone else, but she was able to brave it along with her mother. And there's nothing here. Except more of those blue stones. And we have that ominous song again. I don't know, one of the games never really showed off Kratos' wife. Chains of Olympus had to focus on Calliope, but there's never anything on his wife, Lysandra. Her name is given in some comics by DC Comics, actually. I always kind of found that a little odd, but at least the comics have a decent focus on her, so I'll give them that. Though it's not really shown if the comics are canon or not.
Father?
Calliope?
Oh,
You are not my daughter.
no. But I know who you are.
You know of me.
They said you would come.
Playing with toys, Kratos. Show yourself, Hades. Another one of your tricks.
As usual, Spartan, you are gravely mistaken.
Face me, coward!
So eager, Kratos. Relax. Soon enough, we will have our time to play.
Who is that? It wasn't Calliope, but Maybe that's sort of go in with that note we found from her. Who really knows, I guess. Also, you notice that, some of you guys may notice that Hades is always depicted different. In Chains of Olympus, it looks pretty bright, but that's actually because of the thing with Helios, how his son is brought down to there. Oh, that's actually kind of a sad note. That was from Kratos' own mother. And his brother, if you play Ghost of War, you should know who that's referring to. There are a few references here and there to that game, even though it actually wasn't coming out just yet. It wasn't released. But I actually kind of like that, though, some tie-ins to the future game. Got some enemies there. Enemies familiar from God of War 2. Oh, I want to use it! Ramp. Ooh! Collecting attacks actually works quite different in this game. I think you have to actually press square in order to properly do it. Now these things, if you recognize that animation, I don't know what they were called, but they were those female enemies that threw stuff at Kratos. You should remember them from that Cyclops fight before we entered the Palace of the Fates. I still don't remember their names, though. Which is pretty lame. And I think... Well, yeah, we've got enough. That's great. Argo's Ramp and Cyclone of Chaos. We can now actually counter with the Golden Fleece. That's very good. Cyclone of Chaos and experience damage. Standard square 1 combo. Yeah, L1 square. Pretty decent. I'll take it gladly. It's fairly strong in this game, actually, I've kind of noticed. Lift you in the air to show it off. Gets a good amount of hits and some decent power still. I swear I see something over there. That white thing. But either way, that no was from Kratos' mother. Yeah, we're kind of starting to notice a few tie-ins to previous games and also some Kratos' history.